Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. When you watch a team fall apart in real time, it's not just the score that tells the story. It's the body language, the silence on the sideline, and the empty expressions on players' faces who know they've run out of excuses. That was the Washington Commanders on Sunday afternoon, as they were dismantled by the Dallas Cowboys in a 44-22 beatdown that left fans shaking their heads and wondering if anyone on that coaching staff has the courage to make real changes. This wasn't just another NFC East loss. This was an unraveling, a flashing red warning light that something has to give. And after one disastrous defensive drive before halftime, the message couldn't be clearer. This team needs a drastic shakeup, starting with the defense. The Commanders came into this matchup with the usual mix of hope and skepticism. They were 3-4, still within striking distance of a wild-card conversation, still pretending they could figure things out if a few bounces went their way. But the excuses have worn thin. Injuries. Sure, Dietrich Wise and Will Harris have been out, and depth has been tested. Every team deals with that. What's inexcusable is how predictable this defense has become. Every week, it's the same broken coverages, the same missed tackles, the same lifeless reaction after getting burned deep. Fans have stopped asking if they'll give up a big play. It's more a matter of when. And against the Cowboys, it happened in the worst possible moment. With just under a minute left before halftime, rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels had just delivered what felt like a lifeline. He led a beautiful drive down the field, threading passes through tight windows, using his legs when he needed to, and punching in a touchdown to make it a one-score game at 20-15. Momentum had finally shifted. Washington's offense, battered and shorthanded, had done its job. All the defense needed to do was hold for 45 seconds, and they'd head to halftime with hope and the ball coming back in the second half. That's all. But what happened next summed up everything wrong with this Commanders team. Dak Prescott took the field, cool as ever, and on the very first play he dropped back and unleashed a bomb to George Pickens, who absolutely torched Marshawn Lattimore for a 44-yard gain. It wasn't even close. Lattimore turned his head too late, mistimed his jump, and watched the ball sail right over him into Pickens' hands. That was bad. But what came next was worse. On the next play, Javonte Williams ripped through the middle for a 33-yard run, dragging Quan Martin for a good 10 yards like he was carrying a backpack. No resistance, no rallying to the ball, no pride. Just the defense going through the motions. 2 plays later, Prescott found Jake Ferguson standing wide open in the end zone, not a Commanders defender within 10 yards. Touchdown. Just like that, the Cowboys had gone 79 yards in 35 seconds to make it 27-15, and whatever spark Washington had found was completely gone. You could almost feel the air leave the stadium. The cameras panned to the sideline. Players looking at the turf, coaches staring blankly at their clipboards, and fans booing not out of anger, but resignation. Because this isn't new. This is every week. The same coverage busts, the same confusion on simple assignments, the same veterans making the same mental mistakes. Lattimore's been burned repeatedly, and yet he continues to get starting snaps while younger, faster corners sit and watch. Bobby Wagner, once a legend of the game, is being exposed in coverage on every third down, but somehow he's still out there on passing downs. It's like the coaching staff is afraid to admit what everyone else can see. This unit needs a reset, top to bottom. Let's be honest, at some point, doing what you can with what you have stops being an excuse. Defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. is supposed to be a teacher, a motivator, a strategist. Instead, we're watching a defense that looks lost, undisciplined, and unmotivated. The lack of adjustments is staggering. Every opponent knows exactly how to attack them. Vertical routes outside, misdirection runs up the middle, play-action crossing patterns that leave linebackers chasing ghosts. And week after week, nothing changes. It's as if this staff is stuck on repeat, hoping that effort alone will fix schematic failure. Spoiler alert, it won't. You can't coach effort into a broken system. That drive before halftime wasn't just a backbreaker. It was a statement, a neon sign flashing above FedEx Field saying something has to change. Maybe it's time to sit Marshawn Lattimore and give Jonathan Jones a real chance now that he's back from injury. Maybe it's time to let some of those younger linebackers get meaningful snaps instead of letting Wagner grind through coverage situations he clearly can't handle anymore. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to have an honest conversation about whether Joe Witt Jr. should still be calling plays. Because this defense isn't just bad, it's historically bad, and the refusal to acknowledge that reality is starting to feel like negligence. Meanwhile, the offense is doing what it can to survive. Jaden Daniels, for all his rookie mistakes, is showing flashes of brilliance. The kid's got poise, mobility, and the kind of calm under pressure that makes you believe he could be something special if the team around him doesn't break him first. But now even that hope is on hold, because Daniels left the game early with a hamstring injury, and that's the last thing this franchise needed. Terry McLaurin is still sidelined with no timetable for return, and without him, this passing attack lacks its heartbeat. You can only scheme around injuries for so long before reality catches up with you, and it feels like Washington's season is starting to slip away in slow motion. There's still a lot of football left to play, but at 3-4 with the Kansas City Chiefs looming next on the schedule, the Commanders are running out of road. This isn't just about one bad game. It's about a pattern, a culture of mediocrity that's been allowed to fester. Head coach Dan Quinn talks about accountability, but where is it? When the same defenders miss the same tackles and blow the same coverages, week after week, accountability means change. It means benching veterans who aren't performing. It means giving hungry young players a shot. It means making a statement that no one's job is safe just because of their resume. If that doesn't happen now, when will it? And let's not sugarcoat it. This next stretch of the schedule is brutal. After the Chiefs, they've got the Eagles again, the 49ers, and then a divisional rematch with the Giants, who would love nothing more than to play spoiler. Every one of those offenses is licking their chops watching this Commanders film. If this team doesn't make changes on defense right now, we could be staring down a losing streak that buries the season before Thanksgiving. That's how serious this is. This is a team teetering on the edge, and that one drive, that miserable 35-second collapse before halftime, should be the breaking point. Fans deserve better than this. They've been patient, they've bought into new ownership, new leadership, and the promise of a rebuild that would bring accountability and discipline. But what they're getting is the same old story, talent wasted by stubborn coaching and indecision. The players deserve better too. Jaden Daniels is out there giving everything, playing through hits, trying to spark something. The defense, on the other hand, looks like it's waiting for someone else to make a play. You can't win like that in this league. You can't even compete like that. So what now? The trade deadline is coming, and Washington has some hard choices to make. Do they move veterans like Wagner to give young players reps and save cap space? Do they bring in a corner or safety who can actually help stabilize this disaster of a secondary? Do they fire Witt Jr. and hand over play-calling duties to someone willing to take risks? These are the kinds of decisions that define a season and a franchise. Sitting on your hands and hoping it gets better isn't leadership, it's surrender. And right now, surrender is exactly what this defense looks like. If you're a Commanders fan, you've seen this movie before. A promising start, a mid-season collapse, finger-pointing, and a late-season push that comes too little, too late. But this time feels different because it's not just about bad luck or injuries. It's about identity. The Cowboys didn't just beat Washington, they exposed them. They showed that the Commanders are a team without an edge, without a defensive backbone, and without a plan. Until that changes, the results won't either. You can swap out players all you want, but unless this organization decides that mediocrity is no longer acceptable, we'll be right back here next year, talking about the same problems. That drive before halftime, that single, humiliating sequence of plays, should live in the film room for the rest of the season as a turning point. Either the Commanders look back at it as the moment they hit rock bottom and decided to fight back, or they'll remember it as the moment they quit. Because no matter how you slice it, 45 seconds of collapse told us everything we needed to know. This defense doesn't just need tweaks. It needs a reckoning. And if the people in charge can't see that, then maybe it's time to start over completely. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL world is in shock tonight as the league has officially confirmed what many fans and insiders have been whispering about for weeks. The game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders has been nullified due to severe irregularities that have rocked the sport to its core. Sources close to the league, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, revealed that the decision was not taken lightly, but the evidence was so compelling that the NFL had no choice but to take the unprecedented step of annulling a game in the middle of the season. This announcement has sent shockwaves not only through the locker rooms of both franchises, but across the entire football community, from analysts and commentators to diehard fans who had tuned in, expecting another classic showdown between two of the league's most storied teams. The story, however, is far from over, and the ramifications of this decision are likely to reverberate for weeks, months, and perhaps even years. According to insiders, the irregularities that led to this extraordinary action involved multiple layers of procedural and operational failures that, if true, could call into question the integrity of not just this game, but potentially several others. While the league has not released a detailed report, the hints given suggest violations that go beyond simple rule infractions or controversial calls by referees. We're talking about something that undermines the very foundation of fairness and competitive balance in the NFL. Rumors swirling around the league offices point toward questionable personnel decisions, disputed officiating signals, and, most shockingly, potential tampering with game-time equipment or communication systems. While none of these allegations have been officially confirmed, insiders say that the league's investigators encountered evidence that could not be ignored, forcing the NFL to act decisively. The response from fans has been immediate and explosive. Social media platforms have been flooded with reactions ranging from disbelief to outrage. Cowboy fans are questioning the league's motives and calling for transparency, while Commanders supporters are celebrating the decision as a long-overdue correction of injustice. Hashtags related to the annulment are trending worldwide, with debates breaking out not just in the United States, but across international fan communities that follow the NFL religiously. Sports talk shows, podcasts, and YouTube channels are scrambling to provide commentary, but even seasoned analysts admit they are still processing the gravity of this situation. What makes this story even more tantalizing and controversial is the timing. The game in question took place just last week, meaning that playoff implications, player statistics, and even betting lines have all been thrown into chaos. From a league perspective, this move is nothing short of revolutionary. The NFL has never in its history outright nullified a game for reasons beyond simple replay controversies or administrative errors. While games have been rescheduled or postponed due to weather or safety concerns, annulling a game after the fact because of serious irregularities is an entirely different matter. Sources say that internal memos within the NFL office describe the situation as unprecedented and highly sensitive, with executives debating the potential fallout for months before coming to a consensus. The decision reportedly required approval from both the commissioner and several high-ranking officials, highlighting just how serious the matter was. Now, the league faces a delicate balancing act, enforcing its rules and protecting the sport's integrity while managing the inevitable backlash from franchises, players, and fans who may feel aggrieved by the ruling. Players themselves are caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty. Reports indicate that Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was visibly frustrated during post-practice interviews, emphasizing that while he respects the league's authority, he feels the team had played a fair game under difficult circumstances. Meanwhile, Commanders quarterback Sam Howell expressed cautious relief, hinting that while his team benefited from the annulment, the process left a sour taste in everyone's mouths. Veteran players from both sides are reportedly holding private meetings with league officials to better understand the decision, and some are even lobbying for more detailed explanations to ensure that similar incidents do not occur in the future. Agents and player associations are expected to weigh in, particularly if contractual incentives or bonuses are affected by the annulment, adding yet another layer of complexity to an already messy situation. Betting markets, of course, have been thrown into complete disarray. Sportsbooks are struggling to adjust lines, reimburse wagers, and explain the annulment to customers, many of whom placed high-stakes bets on the original game. Analysts are noting that this may be one of the largest financial disruptions in recent NFL history, as thousands of bets, both legal and underground, are now potentially void. Fans who bet on fantasy football leagues are also in turmoil as player stats from the nullified game are effectively erased, leaving fantasy managers scrambling to recalculate standings and strategies. Some insiders suggest that legal challenges could be on the horizon, as bettors and even some franchises may seek reparations for what they see as lost revenue or competitive disadvantage. Meanwhile, speculation about the root cause of the irregularities is reaching a fever pitch. While the league remains tight-lipped, the rumor mill has gone into overdrive. Whispers of illicit communications, questionable sideline protocols, and even potential third-party interference have fueled a frenzy among journalists and fans alike. Pundits on YouTube channels and sports networks are combing through every possible angle, trying to connect dots that may or may not exist. Some claim that the irregularities were linked to timing signals used by the team's coaching staff, while others speculate that the officiating crew may have unknowingly contributed to the issue by mismanaging certain plays. Whatever the truth, the sheer number of variables involved has created a perfect storm of conjecture, rumor, and high-stakes drama. League officials have pledged to release a more detailed explanation in the coming days, but insiders caution that full transparency may never be possible, given the sensitive nature of the investigation and the potential legal implications. Meanwhile, the NFL is also reportedly examining other games this season to ensure that no similar irregularities exist elsewhere. Teams around the league are on high alert, reviewing internal procedures, coaching strategies, and communication protocols to prevent becoming the next target of scrutiny. The Cowboys and Commanders now face the unenviable task of moving forward amid uncertainty, needing to rebuild not only their standings, but also the trust of their players, fans, and partners. For the average fan, the experience is nothing short of surreal. A game they watched, celebrated, or agonized over simply ceases to exist in official records, leaving a void in the narrative of this NFL season. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: this is not just a single annulled game. It is a moment that could redefine league policies, player accountability, and the public's perception of professional football. Analysts are already debating how this event will shape the offseason, draft strategies, and even the future of officiating technology. Speculation is rampant that new protocols, stricter oversight, and perhaps even major disciplinary actions are imminent. Fans, meanwhile, are left in a state of uneasy fascination, unable to look away from a drama that seems to have leaped straight from a script into real life. Every rumor, every leaked snippet, and every insider tweet adds fuel to a fire that shows no signs of dying down. Social media debates rage, YouTube videos explode with reaction content, and podcasts churn out endless analysis. In the end, the annulment of the Cowboys-Commanders game has done more than just erase a result. It has created a moment of collective suspense, debate, and intrigue unlike anything the NFL has seen in decades, leaving the entire football world holding its breath for the next shocking revelation. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.